We're going to take a look at a really fun, cool, soft, well, I hate to call soft, but jazzy, bluesy tune. This is, of course, J.J. Cale from his fourth album, Troubadour, 1976. The song is Hold On. Now, this song first came to my attention back in the early 80s. I was playing with a friend of mine, Rich Olson. We were doing a little bit of performing and just as a duo. And he brought out these couple of tunes. Now, a couple of tunes of JJ's that I had not been familiar with until then. And of course, I'd heard Crazy Mama and After Midnight because they were kind of popular. They hit it big in the early 70s. Of course, After Midnight because of Eric Clapton covering it, or actually introducing it. His version came out before, naturally, J.J. Cale's first album. Anyway, one of the reasons I want to get on some of these J.J. Cale songs now is there's something really cool going on. Eric Clapton has put together a tribute album with a bunch of people who were heavily influenced by J.J. It included people like John Mayer, Mark Knopfler, and then just a lot of other people that really liked his stuff, that were big fans. Willie Nelson. Anyway, so the album is scheduled to come out July 29th, 2014, about a year after JJ died. So he passed away July of last year, of 2013, in La Jolla, California. But he was sort of reclusive, but also one of those underground, highly respected artists by other songwriters and artists. Maybe not always in the public eye as much. And I'm going to try to do a series of a few of his lessons that are some of my personal favorites. Anyway, this one, Hold On, is a typical of his songs in a lot of regards. It's fairly straightforward musically. It's not an unusual form. It follows a standard jazz arrangement. There are two sections, an A section and a B section, and it goes A, B, A. And each section's 8 measures, more or less. So we're looking at a 32 measure head, as it's called in the jazz world, and we're just going to be playing through it, talking about the chords, because there's some really cool chords you may have recognized. The E7 plus 9 that it opened up with, and then it's just chords in the key of A minor with some nice little changes. And then something unusual happens in the B section, but we'll talk about that as we go. We're also going to talk about playing leads over this type of progression, breaking out pentatonic scales in a couple of different keys, and reviewing them, or maybe introducing them, depending on what's going on. And I'll probably even have, well, yes, I will. Now that I'm committing to do this, we'll have a little just a jam kind of segment where I'll just play the rhythm for you for a while, and you can practice playing along with it. But you could, of course, also do that with the original recording, which I really encourage you to pick up, but also really encourage you to pick up the tribute album that, unless you see this before July 29th, 2014, will be available. So, okay, first we'll talk about the chords. We'll talk about just kind of comping type strumming. So I'm going to be doing this with just a really steady punching, playing the beats, but we have some accents. We're going to have some accents on off beats that we're going to also talk about, whether we play those as downs or as ups. So I've got tablature that has the rhythm written out. It's really just, it's not too much as far as that goes, and otherwise just a chart. And okay, enough. Let's take a look at Hold On. Hold On is in the key of A minor, and it revolves around an A minor 7 chord played with a bar at the 5th fret and just the 5th string at the 7th fret. This is, of course, derived from the E world, where E major would be this, E minor would be this, and E minor 7 could be played a couple of different ways, either by adding the D on the 2nd string or adding the D open. Now, when you play E minor 7 as a standard E minor, play it open, it usually sounds better to have this. But as a bar chord, it's really awkward to get all your fingers doing that, and loses some of it has a different character. So the shape that we want for a minor 7 chord out of the E's generally is the 1-finger one, which then translates up to this at the 5th fret for A minor 7. Strumming is a really typical thing to do in jazz backing tracks or rhythms is to just keep playing the chords on the beats and killing them in between. So if you take a look at the tablature, what I have is eighth notes and eighth rests. So the way we do that is strumming down on the beats and just pumping the chord as we play it. So I'm playing the A minor 7 chord here at the 5th fret, and just as I strum down, I'm squeezing it in time with that. So that's the basic rhythm of what's going on. Sometimes we want to do something a little bit different, like at the very beginning of the song, we're going to hit the E7 plus 9 and just 2, 3, 4, let it ring. So sometimes we just come to rest and keep it moving. The main scale we'd use, of course, to play a lead in the key of A minor would be pattern 6 of the pentatonic scales, which would start at the 5th fret, since we're in the key, that's where A is. And our full minor scale would be A, B, C, 5, 7, 8, D, E, F, G, and A on the bottom 3 strings, and then we'd reach back for the B at the 4th fret of the 3rd string and slide it up to C, up to D, 7th fret, 5th, 6th, 8th, and then it would end on A. Now it could continue higher to B and C and even D. And so if a lot of times when I'm going to play a lead in a minor key, I'm really going to use more the pentatonic scale, not the full minor scale, although we're going to kind of make a little hybrid of it in just a second. And it would just be A and C. Now I'm looking at like the first where pattern 6 is at the bottom of the tab. A to C, D to E, 5 to 7, G to A, 5 to 7, C to D, 5 to 7, E to G, 5 to 8, and A to C, 5 to 8. Well, here's an attempt I'll play through it. I've got a little backing track that I put out, I made just the other day, where I will play, the first time I'll do it, I'll try to match the vocal part, and although not necessarily in the B minor section, we'll see what happens. And the second time I'll try to do something a little bit different. Let's see if this works out. Okay, couple times through. Take it.